Hey everyone, nice to see you again over here. I am going to open the microphone for the team because I've been out for the past week. Anyone from the team? Do you want to update folks on what's going on?
One update, the versions that are currently running on me Jitsi will push them to stable later today.
Can you, the version that we're running on Jitsi will be on stable later today. Awesome, thank you. Christo?
I can mention a few things. So we landed the PR, the draggable, resizable film stripping stage view. It's actually deployed right now, so you can check it out.
Where can people check it out?
Here on Midget, it is deployed.
Oh, and currently we have a maximum number of columns specified to 5 in this deployment?
I believe so, yeah.
Can we, can you walk people through the algorithm a little bit?
So basically, not much an algorithm. Basically, what we have is when you start dragging, there's a threshold, which I don't remember what it is. But basically, it converts the film strip stage view to a tile view. Say it behaves for now pretty much exactly the same as if you just have a smaller tile view component, let's say.
So there's actually two things, right? So first of all, the tile view itself is much more adaptable to the size of the screen.
Oh, this one is not deployed yet.
Well, part of it is because, well, that I guess that's part has been there for a while. Okay, so you were talking about the resizable film strip is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the resizable film strip only is deployed.
All right.
Currently, and also there's another PR that in master, but it is not deployed and enabled yet here.
Your microphone is very weird, by the way. You keep fading in and out.
Sorry. How about now? Better. Yeah. So the other PR we landed in master is the one feature that we talked about last week. It's the face centering detection thing into the thumbnail. Basically,
which isn't here yet. It's just in master, correct?
Yes. Just the PR is merged. I think by default it's disabled even for now. So anybody who wants to deploy it themselves have to uncomment the parameters in the config file. Yeah, and basically the feature is, I don't know if you remember what Emil explained, but when we resize the thumbnails and we need to cut a little bit from the video, basically we do face detection and we try to let's say adjust the video so that we don't crop the face and keep it centered in the thumbnail, no matter the size. I personally tested it; it works pretty well actually. So yeah, and I think that's all I have for now. Maybe another interesting thing is I'm still working on this optimization for the what number of columns, what number of rows do we need to use, and what sizes for tile view in order to take as much space as possible from the available one. So probably that's gonna be landing very soon, like in the following week or two. Yeah, I think that's all I have for now.
Thanks, Christo.
I wanted to do a quick update about the multi-stream support.
Yes, please.
Yes, so we made good progress over the past few weeks with regards to this. So a lot of changes have been done to libjitsi meet and on the bridge side. So for people who have custom UI implementations using libjitsi meet and they want to go ahead and try and experiment what this looks like. They should be able to do it by enabling the source name flag and the multi-stream support. But with a caveat, though, that the backward compatibility work is still not done. So on the bridge side, if you have a few endpoints that support the new source name signaling and few which do not, like the mobile clients, it's like we don't push out updates so often, and it takes time for people to upgrade their apps. So if you have a mix of these clients, then things will be broken. So we're still working on the backward compatibility part, and work on Jitsi Meet side of the things is in progress. So soon we should be able to actually send the desktop stream and the video stream as two different tracks. And we are still working with the Bloomberg folks. They're helping us out, and on the renderer side implementation, like on the UI, where we show two separate tiles for the camera and the screen share. So yeah, we're hoping to get this in soon. So, and we'll let you know once that happens.
Thank you very much, Jaya.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple questions for you, I think, in the chat. Do you want to have a look at those? And in the meantime, any other updates from the team?
This latest release includes the secure Octo / Calibri version 2 changes on O shards. So after running some test shards for a few weeks and fixing some issues, we enabled it here on Jitsi. So far, we haven't seen any issues, but if you do notice strange things, do let us know. This doesn't yet include using a bridge, using geolocation for bridges, but this is
I was going to ask.
the next.
So what you mean is that larger conferences currently here on Jitsi will be, when spread across multiple bridges, will be using Secure Octo.
Correct. And conferences are spread on multiple bridges, either because of their size, if they have more than 80, or if some of the bridges get overloaded, which happens every now and again.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, opening the microphone for the community. Any update on when the mobile apps will start spawning end-to-end encryption? Not at this point. There's still work to be done there, which hasn't been done. For the record, you are able to use end-to-end. No, never mind. I was going to say in the browser, but I don't think that works on iOS. So never mind.
Actually, I might ask about this question that was first sent on the chat. It's from CJ. So, what do you mean by disable tile enlargement equals to true is not working? Did you just saw that it's not working here, or it's not working on the latest master, or like how actually it's not working?
So on February 26th, I had an event and I used config disable tile enlargement equals true, which allows me in Firefox to see a conference with, say, 10 participants all in one screen in tile view. This morning, I joined this event with config disable tile enlargement on Firefox. And as has been happening consistently for the past several months, I only see 4 tiles. They're very large, and I have to scroll down to see the other 20 participants. So I left and moved into Chromium.
And so in Chromium it's working, but in Firefox it is not working. Is that correct?
Correct.
And just to ask you a final question, so when you say 4 participants, you probably say you probably see 2 columns, 2 rows.
Correct.
Is that
2 by
correct?
2. Sometimes I see 3 by 2 and 6, but today it was 2 by 2.
Is the ratio 16 by 9 looking like 16 by 9, or it seems totally different? Do you know?
What do you mean 16 by 9?
The ratio of the thumbnail, 16 with 9. You know.
Yeah, I'm not adept enough at video analysis to. They looked square.
They look square, more like the width was equal to the height, basically.
Yeah, I think they were square. I'd have to rejoin or something.
No worries. Yeah, I'm asking all those questions because on Chromium it's working, and I actually tested it just when you posted the question. And yeah, the weird part for me is that we actually I don't think we do anything specific for the browsers for this option. So yeah, we'll need to have a look actually.
So, Hristo,
if
what
you know
happens
the-
here is like CJ is running it on the ESR version on Linux, and there the width and the height come back. They're smaller when compared to Chrome. So the kind of adjustments they're doing, that we are doing based off of the window width and height, I think they're probably resulting in this. So it's very specific to Firefox and Linux.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's more specific, I think, to my laptop, which has a strange screen resolution. There's a thread where I posted a screenshot last time. XRIN. No.
Actually, already linked in the chat.
Yeah, I already put it in the chat there.
Yeah, my laptop likes to come in at 1366 by 768, and Firefox just really shrinks what Jitsi sees as the X and Y dimensions compared to Chromium for some reason I don't understand.
Yeah, we should have a look at that at some point. Yeah, I don't know for now. I mean, on the top of my head. So yeah.
Okay, let's try to keep that in mind. I'm not sure when we'll be able to look at that, but let's keep it in mind. Leonardo?
Good morning, everybody. And
Good morning.
I just want to thank you guys and everybody who is part of the Jitsi team for all the tremendous work you guys have been doing over the years. It's truly an amazing tool.
Thank you for your kind words, Leonardo.
Yeah, I just have a question about recording. Have we been able to, I missed the last meetings, have we been able to do any improvements on recording, or are we still using Jibri, which is, as we know, it's very expensive to implement, especially for us who are living in Africa, where resources on putting on another server and network connections are really an issue. Have we thought about doing any kind of recording locally?
Yeah, so there was actually a project started there from someone who then I think moved to other things. I don't know to what extent it's I don't know what shape it is. That was specifically for local recordings. That's essentially the answer. Now, you point out that Jibri recordings are expensive. And what I would point out is that I understand where you're coming from. Just one for the sake of completeness to say that any Jitsi recording is going to be expensive because of the way that Jitsi works. All streams arrive at all endpoints separately. So we would need something expensive to decode them all stitch the images together into a single recording, implement the logic of selecting dominant speakers and who we show at any given point in time, and that is always going to be expensive. So that's why it requires an entire Jibri, because that work isn't lightweight. If you were doing it locally, it's going to be just as expensive with a local computer. And I understand what you're saying is, yeah, but I have local computers and people are using them and they might have free resources, and those are easier to provide than yet another machine in the cloud, which makes sense to me. Now, keep in mind that you're still going to need resources after that for at least uploading the recording somewhere to make it accessible to other people. But I agree that there might be, that there are some use cases where this is particularly helpful, which is why we started looking into it. And I think that work was in a fairly advanced state, but Saul was looking at it. I don't believe it was immediately mergeable. Maybe we're going to try and get it. Like, we actually got accepted in Google Summer of Code, so that's probably worth. Boris just muted. Boris, were you going to say this?
No, I was going to ask if there was any support for video recording locally or just audio.
No. I'm not talking about the one that you're thinking of, the podcast thing. We actually started an effort of recording the screen as a screen share, and so the screen of the conference and the audio of the conference, recording them locally, and that was a fairly advanced effort. So we just got accepted for Google Summer of Code, which is something I should have announced up front. If anyone here knows of people, students, that would be interested in joining the effort and helping out with Jitsi, please let them know. And they can help with a bunch of project ideas that we have, and that could be one of them. I don't think that we specifically listed that one, but it totally would qualify finishing that work. So hope this helps.
Thank you, Emil, for your very kind and succinct explanation. I appreciate
it.
Well,
I hope it was kind. It definitely wasn't succinct, but
for Emil, it was actually quite succinct.
Oh. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead, Kaidwan.
Nick has had his hand up longer.
Oh, sorry, Nick. I missed you. Yeah, let's have Nick go first.
No problem. Hi, everybody. I'd like to join Leonardo and thank you for building and supporting this product. We've been using it since September, and we have still hosted instance in Amazon Cloud. Most of the time it works great, but we have some gray areas, and basically those are video codecs selections. Sometimes, usually on iOS devices, people cannot see other parties or vice versa.
Is that with the app or is that with the browser?
Usually it's application. We've integrated via iframe API. We have application on both iOS and Androids.
But help me understand, what you run on iOS, have you embedded the Jitsi mobile SDK or have you embedded the Jitsi iframe?
iframe.
Okay. We do usually recommend using either the Jitsi app or the Jitsi SDK for best performance on mobile devices.
Yeah, we understand that, but just from technical support point of view, are we able to look at logs and say, well, this was this device which selected wrong codec for this conference, or troubleshoot connection issues in some way, especially after conference is over?
Well, are you able to? You just have to wire a bunch of monitoring infrastructure. So, for example, to monitor client-side performance, you may look at enabling co-stats. For server-side, you can turn on a bunch of stuff as well. Maybe, I don't know, if someone wants to go over the easiest ways to turn it up. None of them are going to provide easy answers for the sort of stuff that you described, like network issues are network issues. Video is a demanding beast, and we try to adapt as best we can. And a lot of the algorithms there, especially those that have to do with bandwidth estimation, fairly complex. And sometimes the answer comes down to, well, we just didn't think you had enough bandwidth, so we cut out video. Very often it comes to that.
Okay, but is there any notes about how that infrastructure could be wired into Jitsi, or do you know if there's any posts on forum that might have that information?
Yeah, so the Codecs one, you can, let me find the link. Does anyone want to explain how to best wire backend monitoring? Posting the Codecs one in the chat. Codecs reference.
Okay, got that.
Aaron, do you want to talk a little bit about what would be the first
The
things
second
people...
point, yep, the second point is P2P connectivity. Most of the time we
What about
see
it?
that it just establish connection for 1 or 2 seconds, and then it goes to the bridge and never tries to get back in peer-to-peer mode.
So what is it that you see exactly in peer-to-peer? You actually see the conversation working. You're able to hear and see each other, and then
yeah.
it moves to the bridge for no reason.
Yep.
Ideally, that shouldn't happen. I mean, when you first try to establish the call, the bridge connection is the one that gets through before the P2P. So the ICE establishes on the bridge connection first, and then the P2P one goes through, and then the media switches over from the bridge to P2P. So if your P2P doesn't go through, the media should still flow through the bridge.
Yeah. So if how exactly are you seeing? Like, can you?
It's just connection info that Jitsi provides. I see that there is a P2P next to my IP address, and
So you're saying that the P2P, sorry, Aman.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, so you're saying that the P2P connection is established. I mean, you see it in the connection stats against your IP, you see P2P.
Yep.
So what issues are you seeing when you're in P2P?
And then after some time, I see that it changed, that I'm using Bridge. I see that there is UDP 10,000.
Just to make sure, just to make sure that we're on the same page, you're still only 2 people in the room at that point.
Of course.
And no Jibris or recorders or anything else?
I'm sorry?
No recorders or Jagasi
No.
dial-in, nothing like that?
No recorders, nothing else.
If you're on a mobile network, it can happen that, the connection basically changes and the peer-to-peer breaks. I don't think we have a logic to reestablish that when the media connection breaks. Maybe that's the case, unless you're saying that it's every time after a few seconds. But if it's after a while, then it's likely that as you're just switching between networks, it breaks.
Well, not every time. It's just the case that we observe quite often. Well, so there is no logic to reestablish peer-to-peer connection once it breaks.
That's correct.
That's probably the case. Okay. And
Well, it's a rather strange situation. I would suggest that you save logs next time, so that we can see what's going on, whether it's ICE failing or something else going on.
You mean video breach logs or everything?
Just the client logs would be sufficient probably, but as much as you can.
Client logs not always available for us, but anyway, we can reproduce this issue, and I'll get that. Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys.
So you had a question about monitoring the backend. I was a little bit disconnected, so I didn't get the specifics. But just to throw it out, there are endpoints on all of our components, Jacofo, JVB, etc., that provide stats via REST. And so mostly the pattern we recommend is to regularly query those stats endpoints and then publish them to your metric provider of choice.
Are you able to post some of them, some of those APIs or configs here, Aaron?
I could do, yeah, I can at least send you like what are the URLs you would go to in an example JSON. I'll post that in a second. But the basic idea is you can consume that JSON and then post whatever metrics you really care about or all of them to your stats provider of choice, and then you can render them and slice and dice them as you wish. In our case, we like to add all sorts of attributes to these metrics to say what machine it came from, what environment it's been running in, some of the versions, so that when we are looking at those metrics, we can slice and dice them. So that would be my recommended best practice for that part. But we sort of leave most of that automation to you because we don't know which thing you want to be pushing to or how. I would recommend looking into StatsD and Telegraph for some of that stuff, but we actually use a custom Python script that I can also maybe post at some point that just filters them and posts them to StatsD, if that's helpful to anybody.
Okay, thanks. But we are actually interested in question why this device choose to use this codec.
Yeah, that's not going to be. You're not going to find that data in this. The call stats integration is your better bet for that kind of stuff, I think. Question marks, Emil?
Yeah, codec negotiation isn't really a thing. There's not really. It's fairly static. So, what codec stuff are you interested in specifically? Because most of the time, you should just be getting VP9 or VP8 depending on the config.
Yeah. Usually it's just VP8 and VP9, and most of the time iOS devices just don't select VP8.
No, they should be selecting VP8 as well.
That's what we would like to find out, and we're looking for.
So what is it that given that you're using it in a browser, you should never see H.264. It's just not in the logic to use H.264 in a browser.
No, we are using just VP8 and VP9.
Okay, but so then what are you confused about? You said that sometimes codecs get chosen and you don't understand why they were chosen. What is that situation exactly?
Well, if iOS device connects, we expect all parties to move to VP8. And sometimes
what do you have in your
doesn't happen.
So what do you have in your settings? And under P2P config settings, there's a way to enforce a particular codec. What do you have what do you have specified there?
We don't have anything under P2P, and we have preferred codecs VP9 outside P2P section.
Okay, so let me see if I understand this. You have an iOS device joining through web. Everyone was doing VP9. The iOS device joins. It starts doing VP8, and people do, and the other endpoints do not switch to VP8. They keep doing VP9, and so the iOS device doesn't see the VP9 stream. Is that what you're seeing?
Yep.
Okay. That could be a bug. Jay, would you like to have a look, to try and have a look this week at whether you can reproduce?
Yeah, sure. But ideally, any endpoint which doesn't have support for VP9 joining the call should force everyone else to VP8. So
yeah, exactly. But they say that it's not forcing it in their case. And first of all, is iOS browser supposed to have VP9 support? I think it's not, is it? Or I don't know actually.
Browser doesn't.
Yeah. So.
But they say they're using the app.
No, they're using an app with the embedded iframe.
Oh, okay, right. So yes.
So yeah, let's see if we can reproduce that. It should be reproducible if you guys are seeing it.
And you're using the latest Jitsi Meet?
I'm sorry, come again?
Are you using the latest version of Jitsi Meet?
Not yet. Let me check. It's Docker version 6726, so it's a couple months old.
Well, we're going to try and see if we can repro. In the meantime, see if you too can repro with the latest version.
Yeah, sure, of course. I'll try with the latest version and post question to forum. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nick. And let's take
Have
one
a good
more.
one.
Thank you. You too. Kaidwan?
Okay, I have one question. Can we support Octo using a REST API? Create Octo channel with REST API.
Boris, that one's for you.
I'm not sure if it is at all possible. It would use the old Octo implementation that we're phasing out.
Yeah, we don't yet have the new Octo set up for the REST API. If you have a use case for that, it wouldn't be too hard. So post in the community and let us know what you want to do, and we should be able to.
So you said it's not hard to edit that part?
It probably, I mean, like I said, old Octo I think should work. New Octo is not yet supported. It shouldn't be too hard, but we want to understand the use case to make sure that we, when we do it, we don't do something that's not useful to you. So.
Okay, I will give it a try. So because we are thinking to migrate from XMPP to REST for the production. So, and another question: Do you have any kind of documentation on secure Octo so far?
No.
Okay.
Only the code.
Yeah, we think that if anything was hard to write, it needs to be hard to understand.
Okay, I will bug you guys later. Okay.
We probably should write up something, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, Kaidwan. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. It was great seeing you, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.